Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while to say the least. I've just been very busy with work and had a few holidays, had some time off, so yeah, good to be back talking with you. If you can recall that far back, you may remember that my last video reflected on my time and experience at Manchester's Sustainable Fashion Party, and well, the organisers and my lovely friends at Manchester Fashion Movement have been pretty busy putting real life experiences into action again post-lockdown, and today I'm just really excited because I'm going to get to talk to you about one of these other fantastic experiences and occasions they've put on, which was a sustainable pop-up store, sustainable fashion pop-up store at Stretford Mall in Manchester. But before we jump into that, I just want to also reflect on the fashion story that I was invited to be a part of earlier this year, which involved MFM as well, which I will be abbreviating, by the way. Manchester Fashion Movement is a bit wordy, so I will just be shortening to MFM for the sake of the video. And Manchester, I feel, has always done things a bit differently, and it's always been at the forefront of change, especially in this new day of hyper eco-consciousness, desire for preservation, inclusion and new age social and planetary justice. And Manchester Fashion Movement pulled together all sorts of creatives for one magic day to capture all of these things through the power of fashion and photography. So this visual fashion story was organised and took place in the recently renovated Northstar NQ building, which is a Bauhaus inspired building in the Northern Quarter.
So we're here today at Northstar, a project we've been developing with Bywater Properties here in Manchester's Northern Quarter. We've designed Northstar to inspire creative businesses to come together and form a community. One of the inspirations for the developments was to make a series of connections. You know, this building has been largely overlooked in Manchester for a good number of years. We want to give people another reason to kind of consider it, to shine some light on it. We're doing that by creating a series of connections. We're connecting the building with the street in front. We're connecting the front to the back of the building. And you see some of the interventions like the tunnel, which draws you into the building, and the two floating cubes, which can push the activity out towards the streetscape.
This was a celebration to recognise collaboration over competition, which, as we know, fashion definitely needs to be channeling more and more. So Alison and Camilla sort of summarise with a little introduction that the fashion story brought to you by photographer Madeleine Penfold, who, side note, I really recommend checking out her work. She's a fantastic photographer and I'm very honoured to have been able to work with her. A Manchester Fashion Movement which featured brands to believe in as we move ourselves out of national lockdown and begin to build a kinder, more inclusive society in which shopping ethically and supporting small business prevails. Obviously all things that aligns heavily with my values and vision for the future of the fashion industry as a whole.
When Sheila Bird Studios gave me the opportunity to activate the space through photography, I knew that I wanted to work with other Manchester fashion brands and have the focus on sustainable only brands. The building is loud, vibrant, playful, and I wanted the images to be exactly that. So I did a shout out on social media and worked with Manchester Fashion Movement to pull in sustainable fashion brands. And I also worked with an art director, Amy, who has a really amazing, vibrant, creative practice. So working with these fellow creatives together meant that we could curate and create really loud, playful images with sustainability at the heart of it.
MFM was founded and is run by Alison and Camilla, who both own their own sort of fashion enterprises, and they pulled together a whole calibre of creatives and sustainable fashion advocates, myself included, to be part of this fantastic occasion. And the aim was just to celebrate local talent, unified by the fundamental need for sustainability in fashion.
We're very much about community and we're very involved with a lot of the brands in Manchester, the local brands that have a focus on sustainability. So we have brought them all together today. So we're really excited for everybody to see the shop.
So the movement is here to gather people, to hopefully draw the message out about the world of sustainability. We have 3 pillars that we really focus on, and that's art, that's education, and that's collaborative campaigning. And we wanted to start it here in Manchester because we believe there's so much amazing talent around here that people need to know about.
So behind the scenes, hair by Hannah Bailey and makeup by Victoria Thomas. Worked hard to get all of us models looking the part, and then Alison and Camilla oversaw the styling of the looks as well. And all around the multicoloured vibrance of Northstar NQ building, Amy Mack, the creative lead, was helping just make sure that we were capturing the best shots, the best angles of not just the building but obviously the people, the clothes, and all of that. The shoot really was just a celebration of designers and pioneers for the fashion future, and a reminder of how fun fashion can be, because I think during lockdown, I know that we're fairly out of lockdown now, but I don't think I was the only one that felt that fashion had become grey and gloomy, in the sense that I woke up and I wore probably the same set of joggers on rotation for a few months. So just to find the fun in fashion again was really lovely, and to be able to do so in the company of people that share the same values and wants and expectations out of fashion that I do. An infinite peachy sky and Manchester's expansive skyline was the final backdrop of the day, and it was a surprisingly cloudless day in Manchester, and all the models and everyone pulled together for one final shoot and scene on the rooftop. And as we were doing this shoot, as we were doing this scene, it just felt like, I think everyone felt this collective feeling of accomplishment and pride. Pride in the city, pride in what we'd pulled together and achieved, pride in the fashion as well. And the contagious energy of being surrounded by other creatives after so long in lockdown was exhilarating. It was absolutely fantastic. And being part of this fashion story was a reminder of how powerful collaboration is, why conscious fashion is so vital, and that Manchester is just amazing. Slightly biased, but it just is a fantastic place. So I'll share some more of the final shots from the day, and this just was sort of the beginning of MFM's return to doing things post lockdown, and it was really wonderful to be a part of that. And then fast forward to the end of summer, and MFM were back with their next new project, an experiential immersive pop-up store in Stretford Mall, bringing together and celebrating sustainable brands, designers and talent once again from the Manchester area. MFM were able to use the old Bon Marché store space, if you are familiar with Stretford Mall at all, and they worked tirelessly in the week leading up to the event to transform its interior. The eve before the launch party consisted of an open discussion amongst sustainable fashion enthusiasts and mental health advocates, in a space and occasion designed to deepen insights and shared understanding of the relationship between fashion and mental health. But it was really refreshing, as always, to participate in a discussion with people that share that interest and want to further their understanding in that topic space. The discussion was led by Same Shit Different Brain podcast host Becky Ryder, who invited attendees to contribute to the discussion through really well curated prompts and questions. As you may expect, the discussion kind of naturally led to identifying and exploring how larger societal systems and things in place contribute to this relationship between fashion and mental health. And of course, you know, that spanned out to things like capitalism, the role of social media and influencers, and how throwaway culture all plays into that bigger picture. But one of the really standout points for me in the discussion was when we all kind of came together to recognise the boundaries that echo chambers provide when having really important discussions. And it really got us all thinking about how we can keep inviting people into these important conversations and spread the positive messages about choosing to shop sustainably and engaging in slower slower fashion practices, which in turn actually does have an effect on our mental health, which in and of itself kind of led us to the conclusion in that discussion that one highly effective way, as I also identified in my previous video, is to open up access to immersive sustainable fashion experiences, and that's exactly what MFM were offering with the pop-up store. So the following evening was the actual launch event party. This event was free to attend, but you did need to just sort of book on because obviously COVID restricts numbers and all that, but it was free, which meant that anybody could come down, get involved and see what it was all about. When I arrived a few hours before the launch party started, the final preparations were taking place, and I was absolutely blown away with how beautiful everything looked, from the window displays to the table arrangements. It was just incredible. I personally was taking care of MFM's behind the scenes social media duty that night, which meant I was really fortunate to speak to all sorts of people helping out at the event and attending the event, and just get to know more about why they were there and their interest and involvement in fashion. Hi, I'm Annabelle, the creative lead from Mindless Mag, and I'm here today taking over Manchester Fashion Movement's Instagram stories for their pop-up launch event, which launches at 7 o'clock today, so I hope to see you all down here at Stretford Mall. Music was provided by the wonderful Danielle Moore from Crazy P.
Okay, hi, I'm Danielle Moore from Crazy P, and I'm DJing here today for Manchester Fashion Movement. I've been supporting them for a while now because they're all about sustainable fashion, and yeah, that's really what this is all about. You know, the weather recently has proved that climate change is an issue, with disposable fashion being a big issue. Then we're here to challenge that and try and draw people's attention to an alternative. There we go.
And drinks were kindly provided by La Social Wine, who are fittingly a conscious wine shop and organic wine retailer. There was a huge array of sustainable fashion brands there, from second-hand vintage sellers to zero-waste designers.
Hi, I'm Sophie, recent graduate. I'm here volunteering with Manchester Fashion Movement and also have a graduate collection on display of powerful femininity.
Hi, it's Lydia from Lovely in the Label. We are a conscious made swimwear brand. We're made here in the UK, but everything's handmade. So we're at the Stretford pop-up this weekend. We've got the Ready striped swimsuit and the Mulberry bikini, and we're here on Saturday, but the pop-up's off until Sunday. So come down if you can.
I won't read them all out because the list really is that long, but please feel free to pause the screen so you can make a note of these brands, as I really do recommend checking all of these out, especially if you're in Greater Manchester. Something else that I really loved about this pop-up store was that the window displays not only looked spectacular, as I said, but they were largely dedicated to the sustainable fashion pioneers of the futures, which is fashion students. So there was a lot of incredible decorative and elaborate creations there, and I'll also put these Instagram handles up so you can go and check out these students' work and give them some love. Here's just a little video montage of what some of the event helpers and attendees had to say at the launch party.
We're celebrating sustainable fashion, having an impact on our water uptake within clothing, our carbon footprint, and we want to make a conscious decision to actively promote sustainable fashion and also actively purchase and spread the message of sustainability. What are you here for, Johnny?
Yeah, well, I'm here to support our friend Alison, and
Alison is
Alison, speak of the devil. Right on cue.
Alison and Camilla to support this cause about like showing, showcasing the imparting knowledge about sustainability
and bringing it out of the city so you can like really educate neighborhoods that don't really necessarily know about what we do or what we're about, you know? Yeah, exactly. And that's a what? Period.
sort of an hour or so into the launch event, with drinks flowing, music playing, the store inevitably turned into somewhat of a dance floor, blurring lines between retail and a nightclub. But obviously this was just really fantastic to see everyone having such a good time. And by the end of the night, I'm really confident that everybody left feeling motivated, inspired, empowered, or even just with a big smile on their face, because it was such another fun, positive experience to be a part of.
Hello. So we are Willard Allison, and we are the founders of Manchester Fashion Movement, and we wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting us at Manchester Fashion Movement and this amazing pop-up space that we have.
That we've just finished on our launch night. It was like we never thought it was going to happen. It was like,
Challenge.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
It's always a pleasure to connect with people, link up with people at these sorts of events, and to be reassured that the sustainable fashion movement is growing. The message is trickling out there into wider society, and that in itself makes me very excited. All in all, this fantastic occasion really just cemented the key takeaway from my previous video, and that is that experiential immersive events are unbelievably effective at communicating these important messages, and I have first-hand experience of that being the case again. So a huge thank you to MFM for inviting me to be part of both these wonderful occasions, both the Photoshoot fashion story and the pop-up store in Stretford Mall. And actually, since I've filmed this, I know that they have also put into place their second sustainable fashion party, which I was unable to attend because I was in Denmark on a work trip, but it looked fantastic. And if you are in and from around Manchester, I really recommend getting involved with these events, whether no matter how much affiliation you feel you have with fashion or sustainable fashion. It's such a wonderful thing to share that passion, share that insight, and just come and see what all the buzz is about at the end of the day. Thank you so much for watching my little review, and I hope I'll be seeing some of you at MFM events in the future.